Hello, hello, hello. All right, guys, so I'm going to go over a few things. I am, so a lot of what I do as I focus on life transformation is focus on my own personal life transformation. And I have gone and am still going through some really hard things. So this has been a really slow process. It's easy to feel angry and hurt and distracted and lack discipline or feel overwhelmed and have too much going on, anxious, depressed. Um, Man, I've been going through a lot of that stuff lately and not getting a lot done and realize I keep tackling on a lot of stuff. I want to understand and learn how to have wealth management, but I am currently not doing anything making money. I'm just wanting to do stuff, and that's not how things work. You have to do stuff to get the results. And there is a season and stuff for being educated and applying those things. And there's things we have to do while we're doing that too. And man, I have not been juggling things very well. And as I have been going through all this, I've started looking into like ADHD, attention deficit disorder. And I came across things that I had never heard of before about it. Is that it's not attention deficit. You actually have more attention than you need, which is true. Like I'm constantly thinking about everything all at once to the point where I can't focus on something at one time. I have a hard time staying still or I talk a lot, things like that. So, I can't focus on a task because I start thinking about a different task, and it just piles up until I get overwhelmed, just so exhausted and tired, I start falling asleep. Even right now, thinking about it, it's making me tired and talking about it. But I want to talk about it anyways because I think it's important, and something valuable. I like to look for the science and things. And what I learned about attention deficit disorder is that it's not attention deficit, it's dopamine deficit. And what I know about dopamine is it's kind of the chemical reaction that helps you feel things like pleasure and joy, satisfaction, fulfillment. And, I recognize some things will make me feel really good, other things not so good. And then I get focused on just wanting that thing that feels good. And sometimes the thing that feels good is only a conversation or only coming up with an idea and acting on it initially. And then I feel so fulfilled. I guess it's like the motivation to put it into action is hard, or I start looking at other things like, oh, I'm no longer interested in that. It seemed important for me to learn about these other things, but I can't do that and this at the same time. And then before I know it, I can't do either one of those things. So, anyways, I have come to the conclusion, I've gone through a lot, learned a lot already. This is the next step. You have to be aware of your situation, know yourself, be educated, and know what to do. So, and by the way, I'm in a shipping container working and it's freaking hot. All I have is a fan, and that just adds to me feeling, losing motivation, feeling tired and fatigued even faster. And, but I know this has got to be done. So, I got a lot of ideas to put together. One of my ideas, and more of a trick the mind when it comes to dopamine. My friend was saying, well, for people like us with ADHD, dopamine is your enemy. Well, if that's the case, I need to limit it. Like you're thinking, like, man, I got to choose to not feel fulfilled. I got to choose to not feel joy and pleasure. Yes, and I got to be kind of frank about this. This is kind of a weird word. I don't know why I say it. My dad says Frank. Frank? What's up, Frank? His name's not Frank. Anyways, squirrel. Um, my point. So what I feel that has to be done is that we limit it. It would be like speaking as an adult here, if you have a problem in bed having sex and you get off easily, then what you do is you learn things like breathing techniques and you learn little exercises, like bladder control affects that in a male and stuff like that, right? So you don't get off and then have that pleasure too soon, right? I am pretty sure, and I don't know all the science, so if somebody comes across this, they'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, dude. It's the same chemicals. So um, probably some kind of dopamine relationship thing there, but I look at it as, just as a person that's trying to like, don't climax yet, hold in there and stuff. Make sure you take somebody else all the way through it and stuff before you let yourself go. Then it'd be the same thing. You got a lot of activities and you're entertained by some more than others, but it all needs to get done. Just feel a little bit of the joy thinking about what it would be like when you get to the thing you want to be doing while you're actually doing the thing you don't want to do as much, and you just get little pieces of that while you wait that make you feel a little satisfied, make goals and stuff as you go along the way. And then after you've accomplished all the things you didn't want to do, kind of like letting the other person go first, right? Then go ahead and let it go. Let yourself feel that dopamine in its fullness and stuff, and just be like, oh, okay, I feel great, or use the rest of it into something that you want to be doing, and then deplete it and be ready to have a nice nap after you're done. So, anyways, feels kind of weird saying that, using that analogy and stuff, but I feel like it goes well together. And so, anyways, so we want to manage and control that. Um, in fact, I'm pretty sure could flex that muscle in the brain. I don't know the science of it and stuff, but I think part of it could be related to like the pineal gland or something. At least I feel a lot of my concentration and focus, my attention, and my excitement, my creativity is all coming right here, somewhere right around here. And so flex it, use it, relax it, try not to keep it engaged the whole time or you'll get burnout faster. And so it is what it is. Learn how to exercise just like working out. I guess if you practice, eventually you can do more and do better. But know yourself, know your limits, know what kind of weight you can handle, and keep going. Anyway, that's a short little thing. That's all I'm going to say about it. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.